There are words that land like feathers, and there are words that land like thunder. When a woman hears the right words from the right lips, she doesn't just smile, she remembers. And memory, my friends, is where desire lives. Some men think compliments are cheap currency, easy to give, easy to forget. But there is a different kind of compliment, one not found in a textbook on dating, not whispered by shallow lips, not scattered like confetti to every passing beauty. These are the forbidden ones, compliments so rare they slip beneath her guard, so potent they dance in the back of her mind long after you've left the room. They're not about her hair, her dress, or her smile. Those are pleasant, yes, but forgettable. No, these are the compliments that touch her in places she didn't even know were waiting to be touched. And here's why you must hear me today. Once you learn these, you will understand why some men are remembered for a lifetime and others vanish like smoke in the wind. Stay with me, because what I am about to tell you will not only show you what to say, but how to say it so it drips with truth, reverence, and quiet power. The kind of words that make her lean in instead of pull away. Most men will look at a woman and let their words cling to what they can measure. They speak of the way the light falls on her hair, the curve of her lips, the color that burns in her eyes. They gather their language from what they see, as though her worth could be held inside the boundaries of flesh. And while those compliments may be pleasant, may even draw a momentary smile, they pass through her like the breeze that touches a leaf but never lingers. A true man, a rare man, knows that what is visible is only the doorway. The real treasure is found in what cannot be seen at all. He does not stop at the surface. His gaze is not simply a scan, it is a search. He leans in to catch the tone in her laughter, the slight hesitation in her voice before she speaks a truth, the way her eyes seem to hold both storm and sunlight in the same moment. He pays attention, not because he is hunting for lines to use, but because he is fascinated by the soul beneath the face. When a man compliments a woman on her essence, he is telling her, "I see you before the world taught you to hide." He is reaching past the painted walls and into the living room of her being. This is why such a compliment lingers. It does not live in the same category as "you look beautiful" or "that dress is stunning." Those are safe words, common words, words she has likely heard from strangers passing on a street. But when you tell her you notice the quiet strength in the way she handles chaos, or the unusual calm that settles over you when she speaks, you have stepped into sacred ground. It is not the kind of compliment you can give without meaning it. It requires more than a glance. It demands that you see. And seeing takes time. Seeing requires you to move slow enough to notice the subtleties, the way her energy shifts when she's passionate, the way her eyes brighten when she talks about something she loves, the way she seems to breathe more deeply when she is finally understood. And here is the secret. Women live in a world that constantly tries to flatten them into two dimensions. Ads, billboards, quick comments in passing, most of it reduces them to something decorative, something that exists for the eye. So when you bypass the surface and speak to the substance, you are doing something revolutionary. You are saying, "I have looked past what is easy to praise, and I have chosen to acknowledge what is rare." Imagine this. You are in conversation, and she is telling a story about a challenge she faced. Most men might nod politely, maybe offer a "wow, that's impressive" before steering the talk back to themselves. But you, the man who understands essence, will listen, truly listen, and then say, "There's something in the way you tell that story. You're not just sharing events. You're revealing the kind of woman who refuses to be defeated. That's what I admire." Do you feel the difference? It's not about her hairstyle. It's about the imprint she leaves on the world. It's about her resilience, her wisdom, her fire, her grace. When you speak to her essence, you are also giving her something she rarely gets, a mirror that reflects her whole self. Not the self she dresses for the world, but the self she is when no one is watching. And the truth is, many women have gone years without someone holding that kind of mirror up to them. They have been complimented on beauty. They have been praised for skills. They have been thanked for kindness. But essence, that runs deeper. Essence is the why behind her beauty, the root from which her kindness grows, the quiet power that fuels her skill. You might tell her, there's a certain way you walk into a room. It's like you carry the atmosphere with you, and everything bends to it. Or, when you speak about what matters to you, it's like the air gets heavy with meaning. People lean in, not because you're loud, but because you're real. These are not lines that can be thrown to anyone. They are tailored to her because you have observed her closely enough to notice her signature energy. And this is another truth. The deeper the compliment, the deeper the connection it creates. Superficial praise is like sugar. It gives a quick burst of pleasure but fades fast. But a compliment on essence is nourishment. It sinks in, it strengthens, it stays. She will remember where she was when you said it, the tone of your voice, the exact words, because it made her feel something that caught her off guard. The art of this kind of compliment also lies in your delivery. You cannot rush it. You cannot speak it like a performance. It must feel like a thought that escaped your lips without permission, a truth so evident you could not hold it back. Your eyes should hold hers just long enough for her to know you mean it, but not so long that it turns into a challenge. Your tone should carry both softness and certainty, as if you are describing the color of the sky, undeniable and unshakable. The irony is, these compliments work not because they are manipulative, but because they are honest. You cannot fake the observation of essence. A woman can feel when your words are built on air, but when they are built on real seeing, when she knows you have watched and listened without judgment, her guard lowers. It's not just flattery anymore, it's recognition. Recognition is intoxicating. To be recognized is to be known, and to be known is the very thing most humans hunger for, even more than they hunger for love, because love without recognition feels empty. But recognition without even saying, I love you, can make someone feel profoundly cherished. Now, don't mistake this for worship. You are not placing her on a pedestal. You are not exaggerating her qualities into fantasy. The power lies in naming something true about her that most overlook. That truth can be quiet. It can be subtle. It can be the way she listens without rushing you, or the way she chooses her words carefully, or the way her energy seems to make people feel at home. In fact, the smaller and more precise your observation, the more powerful it can be. Anyone can say, you're amazing, but it takes a man who pays attention to say, when you pause before answering a question, I can see you weighing the weight of your words. That tells me you care about what you give people. Do you see? That is not just a compliment. It is a revelation. It tells her you have been paying attention to who she is when she thinks no one notices. And perhaps the most beautiful thing about this is that you can give such a compliment in any setting. It does not require candlelight and wine. You could be walking down a busy street, sitting at a noisy cafe, or even mid-conversation with others. When the right moment comes, when she does something that strikes you as undeniably her, you simply let the words rise and speak them without fanfare. It's in those unplanned moments that essence compliments carry the most weight because they feel unforced, pure, and real. What happens next is subtle but certain. She will begin to feel differently in your presence. She will not just feel attractive, she will feel understood. And once a woman feels understood by a man, she begins to trust him in ways she doesn't trust others. This trust isn't instant, but it's potent. It grows quietly, threading its way into how she sees you, how she hears you, and how she responds to you. She may not even tell you right away how much it meant, but later, hours, days, even years from now, she will think back to that moment, to that sentence, to the way your eyes softened when you said it. That is the difference between a compliment that fades and one that endures. So when you speak to a woman's essence, you are doing far more than praising her. You are giving her the rare gift of being seen. You are naming something she lives with every day, but perhaps has never heard spoken aloud. You are showing her that you are not distracted by the glitter at the surface. You are drawn to the gold at the core. And in a world that is constantly trying to make her doubt herself, that is the kind of recognition she will hold close like a secret and return to again and again. Some strengths a woman carries are worn like jewels on display for the world to admire. People see her achievements, her beauty, her talents, and they applaud. But there are other strengths, the rare ones, that she carries like scars under her clothing, unseen, uncelebrated, sometimes even unacknowledged. These are the strengths she earned in silence, the battles she fought when no one stood beside her, the nights she endured when the world was asleep and she was wide awake, wrestling with her own storms. A woman's unseen strength is forged in the hidden moments. When she held her composure in a meeting while her heart was breaking, when she smiled at her children while wondering how she'd make it through the month, when she forgave without an apology, when she chose to stand up again after being knocked flat by life. And the truth is, most people will never see it. They'll notice the outcome, her grace, her composure, her resilience, but not the cost. They'll take the polished diamond and never think of the pressure, the darkness, the heat that created it. That is why when a man notices this unseen strength, something happens inside her. It is as though a locked door in her heart creaks open, because here, finally, is someone who sees the part of her that she thought was invisible. You are not praising what the whole world already applauds. You are honoring what they never even thought to look for. It might sound like this: I can tell you've walked through storms and still found a way to keep your light. Or, there's a weight in your kindness, the kind that only comes from having carried things yourself. Do you see the difference? This is not flattery. This is recognition. And recognition is powerful because it tells her she is not alone in her struggle, not anymore. To give this kind of compliment, you have to slow down and watch, really watch. Notice the way she remains calm when others panic. Notice how she listens longer than most before speaking. Notice that her patience isn't because she has all the time in the world, but because she's learned the futility of rushing. And you must also feel, you must sense the way she carries herself, the quiet undercurrent of her being. Some strengths don't shout, they hum. They have no neon sign pointing at them. They reveal themselves only when you pay attention to what most overlook. You might see it in the way she doesn't break eye contact when speaking her truth, or the way she turns a cutting comment into a teachable moment, or the way her voice stays steady when she could be shouting. These things seem small, but they speak volumes. They tell the story of a woman who has learned to master her own storms, to navigate the unpredictable waters of life without capsizing. When you name this kind of strength, you are telling her, I see the road you've walked, even if I don't know every step. You're acknowledging that her strength isn't just luck or personality, it's the result of choices, sacrifices, and endurance. And here's the thing, most women have been misunderstood in this very area. People mistake their strength for hardness, their resilience for detachment, their ability to endure for a lack of need. But strength is not the absence of vulnerability, it is the mastery of it. Strength is the art of carrying both pain and joy without letting either destroy you. When you name her unseen strength, you undo a little bit of the loneliness that comes from always being the strong one. Being the strong one means people expect you to carry weight without complaint, to absorb hurt without collapsing, to lead without faltering. It means your moments of weakness are often hidden because you've been assigned the role of the unshakable one. But when you speak to that reality, you're giving her permission to be more than the armor she wears. You might say, I don't just admire the way you stay strong, I admire the way you've kept your softness while being strong. That one sentence can feel like a deep breath after years of holding it in, because it tells her that someone notices she has not let the battles turn her cold. Sometimes her unseen strength is in the way she rebuilds, the way she starts over without bitterness, the way she opens her heart again after it's been broken. There is courage in that, more courage than most men will ever understand. To love again after being hurt is not weakness. It is the ultimate act of defiance against despair. And sometimes her unseen strength is quieter still. It's the way she chooses not to react when provoked, the way she withholds judgment until she's heard the whole story, the way she forgives people who don't deserve it, not because they've earned it, but because she refuses to carry their poison. It might be tempting to think, why would such a compliment matter so much? The answer is simple. It's because unseen strength is often a lonely strength. When the world claps for her public victories but ignores the invisible wars she's fought, she learns not to expect anyone to notice. She grows accustomed to moving through life without that acknowledgement. So when it comes, unexpectedly and sincerely, it disarms her. She may not respond immediately with a gush of words. She may just pause, tilt her head, and let your words sink in. But inside, a shift will happen. Your voice will echo in a place she doesn't often let people reach. This kind of compliment also communicates something else, that you value more than the obvious. You're not here just for the beauty, the laughter, or the easy moments. You respect the layers beneath. You understand that her strength is not simply an ornament. It is a part of her identity, shaped by everything she's endured and overcome. And here's where many men get it wrong. They try to compliment strength by comparing it to themselves or by turning it into a contest. They'll say things like, "You're stronger than most men I know," as if her strength exists only in comparison to masculinity. But that's not the way. Her strength is her own, born from her unique path, her own lessons, her own battles. Comparing it to anyone else diminishes it. The purest form of this compliment is to acknowledge it without measuring it against another. Another mistake is turning her strength into an expectation. "I know you can handle anything." While it sounds like praise, it can also sound like a dismissal of her right to need support. The deeper compliment is to recognize her capability and her humanity. You might say, "I know you can carry the weight, but I hope you know you don't have to carry it alone." That's how you let her know you see the warrior and the woman at the same time. It's also worth noting that this kind of compliment carries weight only if it is grounded in truth. You cannot give it casually or as a means to impress her. If you speak it without having truly observed her, she will feel the hollowness immediately. But if you have watched her in moments when she thought no one was paying attention, if you've seen the way she chooses dignity over pettiness, the way she protects those she loves, the way she keeps going when things fall apart, then your words will have the authority of authenticity. And when you speak them simply. No grand performance is needed. No poetic dressing unless it comes naturally. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is state what you see, plainly and sincerely. I don't know your whole story, but I can tell you're the kind of woman who's had to fight for herself. I see the way you keep moving forward, even when no one thanks you for it. You carry yourself like someone who has survived things most people wouldn't. When you offer a compliment like this, you are not only affirming her, you are also telling her something about yourself. You are saying, I notice the quiet things. I care about the unseen battles. I am not intimidated by the depth of you. That is rare. That is magnetic. And here's the deeper truth. When a woman is truly seen in this way, her attraction to you will not be about charm or looks or even the perfect line. It will be about trust. She will begin to trust that you can hold space for the whole of her, not just the parts that are easy to love. And trust, once formed, is the foundation upon which everything else can be built. There is a certain kind of compliment that reaches past the obvious, past the physical, past even the traits of character, and settles into the most intimate territory of all, how someone makes you feel. It is one thing to tell a woman who she is. It is another, far rarer, to tell her what she does to you. Not what she does for you, not what she gives you in tangible form, but what happens inside you when she enters the room, when she speaks, when she simply exists in your orbit. Most people are trained to think attraction is about possession, about describing beauty in terms of ownership, or desire in terms of what they want from the other person. But this kind of compliment flips the lens. It's not about taking, it's about revealing. It says, your presence changes me, and I need you to know that. When you tell a woman about the effect she has on you, you are not flattering her ego. You are offering her a piece of your truth. You are letting her know she moves you, influences you, stirs something in you that perhaps you didn't even know was sleeping. This is not a light thing to offer. For many men, vulnerability is guarded like treasure, shown rarely and only to those who have earned it. That is why when it is offered sincerely, it has a weight that cannot be faked. It might be something as simple as, when you talk about what you love, I feel like I could listen for hours and forget the rest of the world exists. Or, when I'm around you, I catch myself breathing slower. These words don't just praise her, they reveal what happens to you in her presence. And that revelation is magnetic because it invites her into the private space of your inner world. Most women rarely hear compliments framed this way. They are used to hearing about their looks, their skills, their achievements. Those are safe, external, but to hear how she changes your internal weather, how her presence alters your pace, your focus, your heartbeat, that is intimate in a way that can't be brushed off. Think about it. If you tell a woman, you're beautiful, she may smile, say thank you, and keep moving. But if you say, when you walk into a room, I forget what I was saying, she pauses. Why? Because you've just told her she is not only seen, but felt. You've shown her that her presence is not neutral. It shifts you, even in ways you can't always control. And this is important. You cannot say such things without sincerity. A hollow compliment on her effect will feel manipulative, and women are finely tuned to detect falseness. But when it's true, when you felt the way her laughter lightens the air or her gaze stills the noise in your mind, your voice will carry a texture that no script can mimic. These compliments work because they are rooted in a universal truth. We all want to matter. We all want to know that our presence changes something, that we are not just bodies passing through space, but catalysts for feeling. When you tell her about her effect on you, you are affirming that she matters, not in some abstract sense, but in the deeply personal way that she has touched your life. And here's where it becomes even more powerful. You are not simply acknowledging what she does, you are acknowledging what she is. Her effect on you isn't the result of effort or performance. She didn't rehearse her presence. It's not a trick or a role, it's her being herself. And when you tell her that her being, not her doing, has meaning, it frees her. It lets her know she doesn't have to work to impress you. She already does by existing exactly as she is. Perhaps she has never been told this before. Perhaps every compliment she has received has been about things she can lose: her looks, her style, her achievements. But a compliment about her effect on you, that is not bound by time. That is not eroded by age. That cannot be taken away because it lives in the realm of soul and energy. Sometimes her effect is like sunlight, warming you, making you feel alive again after a long winter. Sometimes it is like the moon, quiet, steady, pulling at the tides within you in ways you can't explain. Sometimes it is like a spark, igniting ideas, courage, or emotions you thought you had buried. Naming these things is not just poetry, it is truth spoken aloud. You might say, "There's something in the way you listen that makes me want to tell you more than I planned," or "Being near you makes me feel like I'm standing in a place I didn't know I was searching for." These are not empty words. They are invitations. They tell her, "You are a safe place for me. You are a catalyst for my honesty." And do not underestimate what it means to tell someone they have this effect. In a world where most interactions are shallow and transactional, being told "you make me feel" is an act of deep recognition. You are not reducing her to what she gives you in tangible form. You are saying, "Your presence changes the state of my being." That is a rare honor. This kind of compliment also teaches her something about the depth of your attention. It tells her you notice more than her appearance. You notice the way her energy interacts with yours. You are not just observing her. You are allowing her to affect you, and you are willing to speak about it. That is a sign of openness, of receptivity, of courage. And yes, courage, because to say, "You move me," is to admit that you are moved. It is to drop the armor that so many men carry to protect themselves from appearing too invested. But here is the paradox. The very thing men fear will make them seem weak. Honesty about their feelings is what often makes them unforgettable. A woman will remember the man who told her she had an effect on him because in that moment she saw him stripped of pretense. Of course, such compliments must be given with care. They are not to be scattered like seeds in every conversation because their power lies partly in their rarity. If you tell every person you meet that they have an effect on you, the words lose their soul. But when you save them for the moments when they are undeniably true, when her presence genuinely shifts something inside you, they become precious. The delivery matters too. The most potent version of this compliment is often spoken in a quiet, almost offhand way, as though you couldn't help saying it. Not as a grand performance, not as a calculated move, but as a truth that slipped past your guard. A half smile, a pause before the words, a tone that carries weight. All these things make the difference between a line and a confession. There is also no need for dramatic vocabulary. Sometimes the simplest words carry the most gravity. You calm me. You make me feel alive. You make me want to be better. These statements are short, but they land deep because they are rooted in lived experience. And here is the beauty of it. When you speak about her effect on you, you are not only giving her a gift, you are also giving yourself one. You are allowing yourself to feel openly, to acknowledge the ways you are changed by another person. You are practicing a form of courage that will serve you in every relationship you have. Some men fear that revealing this will make them lose power, but the opposite is true. Power is not in pretending to be unmoved. Power is in being unafraid to admit that you are moved and still choosing to stand strong in that truth. In time, she will notice that your words about her effect are not like the passing praise she gets from others. They are not about what she's wearing or how she looks in a moment. They are about the way she exists. That is the kind of compliment that roots itself in memory. She may forget the outfit she wore that day, the setting, even the conversation that surrounded it. But she will remember the way it felt to know she had reached you without even trying. And once you've told her, once you've let her see the ripples she creates in your life, she will carry that knowledge quietly. It may not change the way she walks into the room, but it will change the way she feels in it. Because now she knows. She matters in a way that is not performative, not conditional, not fragile. And isn't that what all of us want? To know that simply by being who we are, we leave a mark on someone else's soul? These forbidden compliments are not tricks. They are not sugar for the sake of sweetness. They are reflections of truth, a truth most women are starving to hear. See her essence, honor her unseen strength, acknowledge her effect on you. When you do, you are no longer one of the many voices she hears in a day. You are the echo she carries into her dreams. And long after the flowers fade and the dresses change, she will remember the man who made her feel seen.